All right. If you'll see the symbol up here, it shows a ball and a funnel. Okay, the funnel represents the seat. The ball, it's not really a ball in there. It's more of like a piston, a little piston that's tapered. Okay, so this is just to show us that when the check valve is closed, it's all the way against the seat that direction, sealed off. Now check valves will seal off 100% because they have no tolerances. They seat off. So that's definitely a benefit. You know, we can lock our oil in with no leakage. This check valve symbol does not show a spring, although it does have one. Okay, it's just that on the print, when you see a check valve symbol that doesn't show a spring, it means it's used for directional control, not pressure. Okay. If you see a check valve showing a spring, it's telling us it's used for pressure purposes. Now, this one's used for directional control. It has a spring, but you know what? That spring is about 1 to 3 psi. It's not much. You can take it out and do this. So it's really just there when there's no flow. It kind of helps keep the ball sealed. That's all it does. Now, the direction of flow through this check valve is left to right. Don't let the arrow, I say arrow, it kind of looks like an arrow. Don't let the funnel fool you. And because it's really easy to just look up there and think that this is the direction of flow. It's not. It always goes this way. So if we were to take the internals out of a check valve like this one here, it's going to look pretty much like this. You can see the actual ball. It's not a ball. It's a little piston, but it's tapered, and of course where it can seat inside of the check valve. So, you know, like I said, check valves will give you a 100% seal. No bypassing. Well, I guess I can't say never any bypassing. Check valves normally fail open. And why do you think they normally fail open?
Spring breaks.
Spring break? Well, it could be. But normally it's trash. Now, we've got a seat there, but if you get trash in the seat, it won't close, will it? Then now we got leakage. So remember that. They always fail open. I've never personally seen one fail shut. I'm not saying it can't happen. I guess it could, but usually they stick open. And you have a little bypass. Here's one way we can use a check valve and for directional control. This is called pump isolation. It is there to protect the pump. Okay. This check valve is going to do, I'll say about 3 things for us in this system. Anybody tell me what one thing that it will do?
Direction. Keep the accumulator from going in the wrong direction.
Right. Now this is an accumulator. You know, they store fluid. If we turn the pump off and this was not there, it would discharge, and what would happen to the pump? Rotate backwards. That would be bad. Okay. Now, if the check valve is there and we're turning the system off and the pump is rotating backwards, then who's causing the problem? The check valve has failed open. Okay. There's another thing this check valve will do for us.
Hold pressure in it.
Well, it will lock pressure in the system downstream. So now we're not showing it here, but when you have an accumulator, and you must always have some way to dump that oil back to tank whenever you go down before you work on it. Now we're not showing it here. I'm just saying we need to have it. But you're right. It would lock oil downstream, keep oil in the system, and not let all the oil drain out. You know, if we let all these lines drain from oil, we go down and we're down for several hours, all the lines drain out, now what's going to happen inside of our hydraulic lines? Is there air in there? There's air in there, okay? That air was hot because the oil was hot. What's going to happen to the air? It's going to cool. Then what's going to happen? Condensation is going to form, see? So that's why you always want to try to keep your line's full of oil by using a valve like this one here. And we're going to look at another way to do that later too. The other thing, guys, this is going to do, it protects the pump from shock. If we had a shock spike downstream in this line, that check valve will momentarily close, therefore protecting the pump. We won't blow our shaft seals and cause leakage, okay? Because that is one thing I see damaged pumps. A lot of times they won't have a check valve downstream, and that'll be the pump that's always leaking. Look at this picture. This is a variable pump. You know they got those plugs on the end? And see, in those plugs, your swash plate's got ears that go, and that's where your needle bearings are. And so those plugs are kind of like freeze plugs. You know, they're pressed in. Then you got your shaft seals. Well, they were having a lot of shock getting their pump there, and it was starting to blow those plugs out, and they were leaking. So they said, "Oh, I know how we can fix this. I got a big old C-clamp in my locker, and we'll put it on there and tighten her up, and that way it won't blow my plugs out." You know, I was walking around doing a survey, and I had a guy with me at this time. This was at and you see the LVL mill, actually. You can tell by the wood there. He said, "Yeah, that's my C-clamp. It's been on there for a while. I've been needing it." But so I got to looking, and I said, "Well, why are we having this shock in this pump? There was no check valve downstream. Gone. Now, I don't know if it was ever there, somebody took it out or what, but it wasn't there." And I said, "Look, you need to put a check valve in, and now then you won't have to keep putting a clamp on the pumps." This is not the only time I've seen this happen. I've seen it several times. Now, we can also use check valves for directional control to protect a motor. Okay. So we've got a single direction motor. We've taken a check valve and we bypass the motor with it. We're going to control the motor with a normally closed two-way valve in a variable pump. Okay? So what we want to happen is we want to run the motor and protect it. Okay? So we're going to energize the valve, run the motor. Since the check valve is pointing this way, that means the oil cannot go through there, right? We don't want it to bypass. You've got to run the motor. So that's why it's in that way. So we can run the motor, and now it is protected. Anybody see how it's protecting? It looks like it's not doing anything, does it? Looks like somebody just had a check valve laying around and they want to do something with it. Anybody see how it's going to protect it? What's it going to do?
Might as well go back. Let it feed up and shut it off. It's not going to slide.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, now think about this, okay? Look, we've got one line that comes in, runs the motor, then this line just goes to tank. If we were to shut the valve and turn off the flow, this motor is still going to roll. It's going to coast. Okay? Well, where's all this oil going to go? It's going to run out, go right to tank, and then now the motor's dry, right? Well, what will happen is, when it starts coasting, it'll create a vacuum. And instead of the oil going to tank, it'll take this path here. Now, remember, see, this check valve symbol is not showing a spring, so it means it's only 1 to 3 psi. It's very light rated. Okay? So you got 1 to 3 psi here, and how much was in the tank? 14.7. So what's the path of least resistance? Through the check. So the oil goes here, and the motor gets the oil it needs, and it's okay. This is not uncommon. Now, sawmills, lumber mills and stuff like that, you see a lot of them designed this way, like a lot of their unscramblers and stuff, they'll have a check valve to protect them.